You have a former world champion in Scrub Killer. You have a mechanical god in apparently Jack. And a dude just staying inside playing video games during Carnival in the Netherlands against three dudes playing at Pete's house. Welcome to the RLCS. Endpoint, Dignitas, somebody goes to the grand finals. Daz, who you got?
You know, at this point, it's kind of in the air. Honestly, I'm still feeling Dignitas. I think they've been looking really strong this entire tournament. And a good start to the day. This one is the one for them. I mean, this team is just so incredible to watch, but they got to get through an Endpoint team that's been firing on all cylinders.
Even playing online, still some adversity for teams to overcome to reach the grand finals of the Copa del Rocket League, as Relating Wave will throw one central for Metza. Scrub Killer trying to avoid him. And now Metza got that boost steal, dishes off to Seiko, and what a save by Scrub Killer. Right place, right time. And apparently Jack will send this at least out towards midfield. Metza bringing one right back in. Scrub Killer's got to climb up the back wall. They don't have a lot of boost to work with as a team, but Dignitas does clear the zone. Scrub to Jorius, little wide, and Relating Wave will start the counter back the other way.
Well, I like that stop from Jack. Sees two members of Endpoint moving upfield, says, okay, I'll wait a bit, then I'll jump up, making a good challenge in midfield. Dignitas have been on top of the ball pretty well, and it has been this, really controlled back and forth pace, where Dignitas, though, they have kind of let that possession overall in the start here as they're looking for their first goal. Endpoint's defense being stretched, as you see Metza gets a save and then immediately bumped out the way.
Seiko trying to read this. That's a tough ball to read, and he made it look easy, as he so often does. The human highlight reel really showed up yesterday. Get his team to a guaranteed top 3 spot. They secured their spot in the major. Relating Wave, banked one off the ceiling for Seiko. Double on the way, right down the middle.
Oh, beautiful work here from Seiko. He's a dangerous man, and you see why. Getting up so quick to beat out 2 defenders. See you later, as he scores a beautiful double for Endpoint.
Right through the heart of the Dignitas goal. And if you wondered, hey, were they going to be kind of out of their element playing in a different venue? No, Endpoint has not missed a beat. They've been all over Dignitas. Here's Metza trying to force one through, and he'll score. Same spot in the net.
Oh, man. This is really starting to control the pace here, Stacks. Look at this catch from Metza. Jorius goes up for the early challenge, and Metza knows, beautiful reaction. He knows that Jorius has to get that turn on the car, so he just plays it right past him. Great shot placement.
2 very quick goals out of Endpoint. Dignitas, their heads collectively have to be spinning right now. Seiko's gonna have a free ball, but Jorius got there just in the nick of time to cut him out. Now it's Metza around Scrub Killer. Through apparently Jack, and Jorius is still right there. Here he goes. Trying to get Dignitas going. That's gonna be a little high. Follow-up is deflected away by Seiko.
Dig have been controlling that midfield really well. You see Jack looking for that late play, but it's those aggressive challenges from Relating Wave, those counterattacks, been working out really well for Endpoint. They've been able to get on top of the ball, and when they move upfield, you see how scary it is for the Dignitas defense. They're jumping and stretching. This time, they're able to make the stop. They still got a lot of time left on the clock as they try to look for one, but Jack can't get the follow-up touch.
Aided greatly yesterday by a series in which they outscored 0-0 Nation 17-6. Dignitas does come in sporting the statistically best scoring offense and defense in this tournament. Averaging 3 goals a game, only allowing just over a goal a game, but that is not bearing itself out here as Endpoint almost added another, and Endpoint themselves a pretty stingy defense as well, keeping Dignitas in check. 2 teams that have become very familiar with each other throughout the split and this season, and who no doubt are on a collision course during the major. Here's apparently Jack finally breaking free. Dignitas on the board.
And it's a mystery from Seiko. He thinks he goes up for this, but you can see him kind of pull off towards the end. And once he pulls off, Jack sees it, and he's like, I caught you. Good read on the defense there from apparently Jack. And Dignitas, they make it a 1-goal game.
Some life for Dig. Jorius couldn't get back up for this one, though. Seiko plays it across, and now it's relating Wave. Wave to the ceiling. Apparently Jack right there to meet him. Oh, game has just become so fast of late. In previous seasons, that's a play maybe you actually have a little bit of extra time. Not now, not with the way these guys play. Relating Wave up ahead towards Seiko,
what is going on
is locked up with apparently Jack high up on the wall. I've never seen a Rule 1 up there.
Yeah, they'll be there for a little bit. they're not letting that one go. Meanwhile, we got an interesting 2v2 Wave and Meta. As Wave looking for a chance there. Oh, almost scores it. Meta with the follow-up, and he'll actually get it. And Endpoint will regain their 2-goal lead off this play.
Sure, whatever. There was a goal. Apparently Jack and Seiko ended up down on the ground when all was said and done. After all of that.
Respect.
3-1 to Endpoint. So they win the 2v2 portion of our show. I would just wonder, will any of them actually engage in a 1v1? Probably not. I think that would be a losing proposition for Endpoint. Here's Relating Wave. Sent away by apparently Jack. That hits Jorius, and Metanoris rather will send this across. There's apparently Jack. Metanoris tried to clear this, and it went right to the oncoming Scrub Killer. Perfect read, better pass.
Yeah, you see Wave just kind of struggling there to, really set up on defense, and perfect pass out from Scrub. Just a 1-2 play. That's going to be Jack's second, Dig's second as well. Trying to look for a last second play. 15 seconds, Jorius on the ball. And he almost got a demo on Meta. Scrub trying to get it out to Jack, and Jack's gonna have to make some work happen here.
Yeah, Meta had to do a little extra work to get out of that predicament he was in inside the net. And now Dignitas has to go the length of the field with no time on the clock and no momentum whatsoever. Seiko just waits and waits and spikes the ball down to the ground. And Endpoint wins. Kind of a back and forth affair, but their strong start propels them to a Game 1 dub.
Yeah, I like Endpoint's approach. Even though Dignitas, I'd say they had a decent amount of possession early on, and the way they were controlling the ball moving upfield, it looked like they could set up, some really strong offense. That being said, they weren't able to hold on to the ball on a lot of their offensive strides. And Meta, he had 7 shots. It didn't even feel like he had 7 shots in that game, but he was just sending them left and right to the net. Both him and Seiko doing a great job. And of course, Relating Wave there for a couple of the assists as well. I think that Endpoint, when they were just upfield on those counterattacks, it was just so hard. Look, look at those two. So funny to see. But it was definitely tough for Endpoint to kind of, well, for Dignitas, I should say, to handle Endpoint on those counterattack plays, and they just kind of got caught out there a little bit.
So I wonder if they are, kind of shifting the good chair around, right? Seiko had it for Game 1, but Metanoris was the MVP. He had 2 goals. He had 7 shots. He had all the big numbers. He should get the good chair now.
Is that how that works? I don't think that's how that works.
That's how it works at my LAN party. MVP gets the throne. Well, here we go. Relating Wave. Low line drive right at apparently Jack. Good first touch to get around 1. Better second touch. Jorius redirect just a little high. And apparently Jack tracking there. Now Scrub Killer has options. Whiffed on it, and Metanoris will pop it away. This is still dangerous across. And Relating Wave with the save and clear.
Love that follow-up touch from Jorius. Like you said, looked dangerous. Now he's going to leave that for Jack. Jack looking for a bump on Meta, not really trying to play the ball out, and I like that idea. Just to try to throw off the defender, get a free drop down, catch the defense off guard. Dig are going to have to pull out with some different offense here in Game 2 because the controlling the ball, keeping it close, it did good, but I think they played those 50s a little too close, and then that's when they got caught out on transition.
Relating Wave following here. Jorius at the back wall and easily played away. It makes it look far easier than it actually is. Apparently Jack lobbing one in. Jorius can't get to it. Scrub Killer will follow in. Relating Wave. Big power clear will kind of reset things. Only as far as Jorius will let them. This got through. Scrub Killer, last man back, stops Seiko. Relating Wave shot set away by Jorius. And again, Dignitas forced to play far more defense than I'm sure they would like to. Endpoint continue to keep the pressure on. What a pass and a better save by apparently Jack.
Goal line save from Jack, but Metza's not done. Looking for Seiko. Seiko almost just skies it high. Infield pass. Wave. Bang! Top left corner. Beautiful play from Endpoint.
Well. Infield pass finally got there. They go left side. Relating Wave gets his first goal of the series. And it just continues for Endpoint. They are not letting Dignitas rest at all.
They said it does not matter where we play. They are bringing the action. And this is something that they're going to have to take note of. Especially the way this series is looking out of control. Uh-oh, Seiko on the ball. Oh, almost picked the pocket of the scrub, but it's a good read to look at that lower right corner. You know, Seiko usually has the entire net to shoot at, but Scrub reading the available options and guessing perfectly.
That's an RS blocked by Scrub Killer. Joyous is there running free off the post and in, and Dignitas quickly tie it up.
Yeah, look at this. Mets trying to take it slow, but Scrub Killer doesn't give him the time. And Jorius, right place, right time. It's an open net. Slots it in.
We continue on now. Halfway mark of game 2. Best of 7 to send somebody through to the grand finals, and the significant advantage that carries. Having the extra life in grands. Mets and Norris. Around Jorius. Apparently Jack is right there though, well read. And the demolition from Jorius will cut out Mets and Norris. Here's Scrub Killer waiting, and Seiko realized the immediacy of the situation. And quickly downfield, got this out cleanly to Relating Wave, who does not miss.
Dirty! Look at him go! Look at this team is in sync. Beautiful pass from Seiko. Top left slot from Relating Wave. Endpoint. When they push forward on offense, my goodness, it's so scary to play against. And you're seeing even Dignitas with members set on defense struggle. But Jack looking for the tie, can't find it. Scrub follow up, he'll find it. And Dig strike back quickly.
Nobody's gonna gain an upper hand here. Just a constant barrage against two defenses that have been phenomenal, but also two offenses that have been equally impressive. And we carry on with Seiko, not able to beat Jorius to the punch, up to the backboard, cleared away by Metadors. Both defenses being tested to their limits. Just non-stop action, back and forth. It's a track meet here in the upper finals.
Right now, Wave looking for another one. Seiko had a read on that clear, got a piece of the ball. You see Metanoris is trying to get there as quickly as possible. But a minute 30 left in this game. And now you're seeing Dignitas trying to work that transition. Jack, does he have a double? He does, drops it down. Scrub's gonna go for it, but still, defense set there for Endpoint. Able to hold on for now. Another pass from Dig. Jack blocked out from Seiko, not letting that one go towards net either. Now it's gonna get away. Can Wave catch up to this? No, Scrub can't. Be careful, don't own goal. As still danger as these counterattacks left and right stacks. They're so crazy. Here's Jorius now on the solo. But even then, Endpoint are able to get back in time. Now you gotta start looking at the boost meters.
Up top is Jorius. This drops right down to Scrub Killer. Almost fell right in his lap. 45 to go. Nothing separates Dignitas and Endpoint except a shot from Relating Wave as the defense got caught up too far.
Give the ball to Wave, because my goodness, he is on a wave. Constantly there in time to score big time goals for Endpoint. The placements have been good. His positioning's been better. And that's the big difference maker, at least in this game. Dignitas still got some more work to do. Less than 40 seconds on the clock.
It's next man up for Endpoint. Metanoris had 7 shots and scored twice in game 1. 6 shots and a hat trick out of Relating Wave to go with a couple of assists he had in game 1. And still a chance for Dignitas. They've answered back every single time. Now they have less time, 15 seconds, as Seiko pops this away to the left. Jorius is there. Apparently Jack doesn't have anybody to pass to. Everybody's on the left-hand side, and Metanoris has the easiest job of his life, clearing this away to space. Apparently Jack pop one out. Metanoris got there. Jorius won't catch up, and Endpoint take control at the late stages and get another 3-2 victory.
Big there. I mean, again, like I said, relating wave, shooting 50% there. He puts on almost the same amount of shots as Metanoris. Him and Mets traded roles that game. Last game, Metanoris only had one goal. Or no, I mean, not Metanoris. Metanoris had 7 shots. I mean, relating wave only had 1 shot. This time, Mets had 0, and Wave just in form. Now Dignitas call a tactical timeout, and I think this is the right time to do it, Stacks.
Yeah, of course. I love the timeout at loss number 2, especially at 2-0. If it's 1-2, all right, maybe you still kind of ride that out. No, at 0-2, something's clearly not working, as Endpoint have just been all over Dignitas. I mean, the pressure we've seen out of Endpoint at times, look, it would crush any lesser team against maybe any other team in this tournament. Endpoint might have put up 5 or 6 goals. It's still a testament to Dignitas defense that they've held Endpoint only to 3. The way Metanoris played in game 1, the way Relating Wave was going off here in game 2, they just found ways to get Relating Wave wide open. And now we go into game 3, eventually following this timeout. And the task for, again, a coachless Dignitas squad is, all right, how do we turn this around? How do we solve the puzzle?
I think, for them, it's just these guys talking in between each other, figuring it out, posing ideas. Everybody there's, fully capable of communicating properly. Scrub's been in the game for a long time. You see it, Jack on the interviews. He's very well spoken, and I think that when you combine all of these guys together, they're able to handle these high pressure situations. Clearly, they call this timeout at the loss of game 2. They're very well aware of just how good Endpoint are playing. I mean, even thinking about their situation at hand, Endpoint are having a ball out there on the field. So for Dignitas, it's like, okay, we need to figure out how to stop that. These games are close, though. I will say that. I mean, last game was a 1-goal game, but Dignitas need a little bit more. They're letting in too many goals, and they're letting members of Endpoint just get on fire. We're talking Metanoris, we're talking Relating Wave. Seiko isn't even the star player so far in this series. And that's saying something here, because Dignitas, they got to stop this whole Endpoint roster, and they're struggling to do that.
Oh, we'll see if Seiko has his time in the sun now. As Metanoris, MVP game 1, Relating Wave got it game 2. Here we go. Seiko's turn, and that is a terrifying prospect for Dignitas coming out of the timeout. Actually, the real reason they called the timeout, Daz, they were just hoping Endpoint would get up and stretch, and as I believe Shogun had alluded to in the pre-show, maybe accidentally unplug something in their new environment. Didn't happen. They're back and ready to go.
And Endpoint will still be able to hold on to their timeout as well, in case Dignitas turn things around. As Metanoris, you see that air dribble looking for the top left corner of the net, trying to open things up on a hot note. Dignitas defense still struggling to get this ball out.
Seiko right out where apparently Jack is waiting. Scrubkiller's going to get the boost steal from underneath Metanoris. Could not hit Seiko, though. So Seiko can clear this away, but he didn't get the second touch. It's good enough to get around Jorius, though. Scrubkiller's right there to cut out any further effort from Endpoint. Here goes Metanoris against apparently Jack. Almost a neutral 50-50. Jack did a good job staying with it. Metsa has options. Seiko right there trying to screen Scrubkiller away. Little bank off the ceiling is set away by apparently Jack. Metsa could have got there first, but Jack held his ground. That's a big demo too on Jorius that will significantly hinder Dignitas on this trip.
No, it's really Metsa going for it in the first place. He had already went for an initial challenge. He immediately turns, jumps at the ball, and you see the result of it. A 3v1 downfield where last back for Endpoint does make a great stop, but just putting them in that situation. Endpoint with a lot of trust in each other. Now they're looking for a goal. Wave will get there, but it'll bounce off the post, both posts, and no goal. Dignitas move upfield.
Jorius got caught back there, and still just barely. Metanoris and Endpoint remain scoreless. This goes downfield, and apparently Jack to the corner where Jorius is still waiting. Back to Jack, and that still finds a way to Jorius. I mean, he's a ball hawk. just always finds his way to it. Here's apparently Jack, beaten by seikoo. Free ball for Relating Wave. No, Jorius got up there so quick. And we remain scoreless near the halfway mark. Jorius has other plans. He leaves it for Scrub Killa, and Metanoris emphatically bounces it away.
Good leave there, because you see someone playing the 50 for Jorius. He says he denies that chance for a play. Now Jack up, gets a beat, straight to Scrub, looking for the top corner, drops it down for Jorius, but defense there from Endpoint set up. Dignitas getting a lot more passes upfield, but still not enough to get past Endpoint's defense. They've been set and ready.
Metza will sky one up. Everybody back in formation now for Dignitas. It's Scrub Killa that takes charge initially. Jorius got to get involved as well. A full team effort fending off this Endpoint attack. And now Endpoint will reset. Try again. They have to deal with a bit of attack out of Scrub Killa. Here goes seikoo. Jorius calls off Jack, takes charge, got his third save out of it. And Dignitas forced to play at their own back line even longer now. Feels like it's been about 70-30 at least, the advantage for Endpoint as far as possession time goes. Apparently Jack couldn't get to this ball. It's dumped right back into the zone. Here goes seikoo, just lets loose with a shot this time, and Jorius had the save.
He put some E behind his stacks. He was really looking for that first goal. Dignitas, this is defensive-wise, this is the best game in the series for them. They've been able to stop the scoring machine that has been Endpoint this series, but this one might be a chance. Metza couldn't get the pass out, so seikoo will end up losing control of that, and now we approach that final minute, still scoreless.
We're talking about the clash between these two teams statistically with the offensive and defensive numbers as seikoo pops one away. Demolitions have been a key point as well. Dignitas, nobody has been more physical than them, and nobody has taken more abuse than Endpoint. But it's Endpoint with the 2-0 lead in the series. After the Dignitas timeout, trying to make it 3 and maybe make it a quick run here in the upper finals. Scrub Killa let this one go. Apparently Jack can't get to it. And Endpoint just get more possession, more touches, more time in the Dignitas end. Now Scrub Killa downfield, doesn't have anybody else down there with him. Jorius thought about it. He will come forward.
Jack
seikoo with the initial stop. Metanoris can't keep out Jack. And finally, Dignitas get a late lead.
This is really good patience from Jack. Just seeing the whole play unfold. Gets to the right position and forces it past the Endpoint defense. Diggs in the house, and they come out with something. Now they just got to hold on for the next 18 seconds.
The Dignitas blitz finally gets home. And now Metanoris trying to play hero as he has done so often in his career. He's got to start it from the back, 7 seconds. Jorius slows him down. Still got this out. seikoo will get there, but so too will Jorius. Ball touches down, and Dignitas, after the timeout, finally gets on the board.
Oh, yeah. You could tell big effect here for Dignitas. Again, keeps Endpoint scoreless the entire game while Endpoint was averaging 3 goals a game. Very well done defensive-wise for Dignitas. But as well as offensive-wise, they outshot Endpoint, which is definitely something you said earlier in the game. It felt like Endpoint had 70% of the possession. And even with that, they weren't able to put on that many shots and really scare the defense from Dignitas. They were able to control the ball a lot more, move upfield, and just honestly get some really close opportunities. Felt like Dignitas also could have scored even more goals, but this is a good start for them, and I think they got the momentum going in their favor now. It looks like they're figuring out the recipe.
So the experiment of having seikoo be the MVP didn't quite work out for Endpoint, so he's got to relinquish the throne and maybe give it back to Metanoris. We'll find out. We get now into game 4 on Utopia. Dignitas has put up a fight now in this upper final. And Scrub Killa think he had the last touch on this as seikoo gets credit.
Let's see it. No, it looks like seikoo got another touch right there.
Oh yeah, he got underneath him.
Got a little piece of it. Scrub needed to get that challenge, but really quickly, first 4 seconds, Endpoint strike.
Not a good sign at all, but we've seen Dignitas answer just about every single time Endpoint have scored since game 2. Relating Wave, quickly downfield. And then quickly right back once it came. This will drop down for Scrub Killer. He's got Jorius in behind him. Pinch didn't quite get where he wanted. Now Jorius over to apparently Jack. Scrub Killer trying to get a piece of Metanoris, who makes 2 incredible saves.
Oh my goodness.
This is thrown back in front, and Seiko just hit it where they ain't. Gets out of danger.
Jorius is a monster. He 2 back-to-back shots on top of the ball. Did not let anybody else touch that. He said, this is mine, you're gonna clear, I'll take another shot. You're gonna have to make sure you're setting defense. That's really well done. I mean, it feels like Dignitas are starting to attack more and more on offense. And we'll see how Endpoint can hold on. I mean, this first minute has been eye-opening. There's a bump! Will there be a goal? Yes! Metanoris will find the back of the net for Endpoint.
I'm sure Relating Wave was cursing in some language or another when he couldn't score this, but Metanoris right there, 2-0. Endpoint getting back to their Game 1 form. Will it be enough to hold off Dignitas, or do they have another furious comeback charge in them? Jorius up the ladder. Got a piece of that from Relating Wave. This goes right up to Scrub Killer. We'll keep this available. Back down to apparently Jack, and deflected away by the Endpoint defense.
Look at that, Endpoint sending 2 up. They trust whoever's third back, but, I mean, not Endpoint, Dignitas, I'm sorry. And for Dig, again, being so aggressive, you can tell that they want to go all in. They want to out-pressure Endpoint. But even then, those transitions just hurting them so much. They got to get this under control. Endpoint score another one. And I just haven't seen Dig come back from a 3-0 deficit.
They're a team that certainly can. Again, averaging 3 goals a game in this tournament. Of course, again, greatly inflated by their performance against 0-0 Nation yesterday. For the playoff stage, technically averaging 4.25. Take that for what it's worth. Seiko bringing this all the way back. And he'll get right through apparently Jack. Again, slowing down Dignitas. Time quickly becoming their enemy, coming up on the halfway mark of Game 4. A chance for Endpoint to go on triple match point to get into the grand finals unscathed. Now Jorius has apparently Jack kind of a little bit further back than he would have liked as that went off to the side, and now Scrub Killer needs a second touch. He's got it quickly downfield to avoid Seiko, but Relating Wave is right there. Endpoint always in the right position, it seems, in this game. And the blip on the radar that was Game 3 not affecting them at all.
Yeah, you saw that. Jack losing control, looking for a bump on Seiko. Now Endpoint with the ball once again. Dignitas having a tough time so far to even getting out of their own half, as Endpoint have just been trying to run out the clock.
Relating Wave catches here. Got one over, and Scrub Killer's there to pinch that ball away. And just because it's Jorius, it happened to find him. Now Scrub Killer waiting for this out of the corner, and he waited till the last possible moment to challenge Relating Wave, and Seiko will score. Had a defender in the net. I think it was Jorius, and he was just too slow getting out.
Oh yeah, as soon as Wave realized he had 60 boost, he was trying to disrupt Jorius there a little bit by going into the net, but honestly, it was a shot from Seiko, and Jorius just falling off of just from being upside down for too long. I think it was a recipe for disaster for Dignitas. And now
it looked like he landed awkwardly in the back of the goal.
Yeah.
It killed all of his momentum.
He was gonna have a tough time with that regardless.
Yeah,
There's
no
too
kidding.
many factors.
Yeah. What matters is what did happen. 3-0 to Endpoint. Back on form. Race to the corner boost as Jorius will clear this away, and Seiko's got to retreat. He'll be ready for whatever play Jorius has in mind, I'm sure. And there he is to make the stop on Scrub Killer. It's still loose in front. Apparently Jack feathered the shot in, and Relating Wave still got there in time. Counterattack now, Seiko. Oh, he almost scored the double. It works out anyways. Metza adds a fourth.
Endpoint are picking them apart. Seiko with this one, I like, instead of just sitting the ball up, gets a beautiful double. That double pass middle, Mets being there, I mean, that's just the Endpoint special. And it works out so well every single time. 54 seconds left. And if you're Dignitas, you got to go next.
Got to score here to have a shot, and Relating Wave makes the initial save. There goes Seiko. Metanoris running into apparently Jack. That slows down Dignitas again. Look, everything's come up Endpoint here in game 4. So Dignitas now without a timeout to use. They're going to be down to 5 minutes at the end of this, barring something catastrophic. Try and figure out how to get by Endpoint or collect some data and give them another shot in the grand finals if it comes to that. This goes harmlessly across the face of the goal. Now with 12 seconds left. And the only question now is how many more will Endpoint add? Do they get one more? Not looking like it. So this goes back for apparently Jack. Try to break up the shutout. And Endpoint's having none of that either. Apparently Jack will have one more look at it. And when this ball touches down, Endpoint on triple match point. Grand finals waiting for a team that has secured the major. They do break up the shutout as apparently Jack adds his 4th goal of the series and maybe just a glimmer of hope going forward. Like, okay, that worked at the end of a 4-0 game. Better than nothing.
That's going to be good for the stats. That's gonna be great.
It's his 19th goal.
Exactly. So Dignitas able to, at least get that filler going into the next game. But they're going to need a lot more than that. That was actually the first time where they had consistent pressure on Endpoints after that game. And in a while, too, I should say. It becomes really, really tough to kind of maneuver when you have plays happen like this one, where, again, you see CeX scoring this, and then, this pass was just so nice. Joris just wasn't ready for it. You see him rotating front post, just got kind of caught out there. And Endpoint been making plays like that all series long. Dignitas seemed to have a hold on it when we saw them in game 3. They were able to stop the scoring. Everything worked out in their favor. But now, it just seems like they can't find an answer. Abjack had 7 shots, couldn't do much of anything with it. And the chances were not as, I don't think, consistent from everyone across the board. It was Jack with 7 shots, Joris with 1, and then Scrub with none. And they maybe just need to share the ball a little bit more when it comes to the shooting.
I'm sure 0-0 Nation's wondering where this Jorius was yesterday. Only 1 goal with a couple of assists, where Jorius went off for 12 in the series against 0-0 Nation. Just a little bit different right now, as Seiko will play one out. Scrub Killer's right there. Do or die now in the upper bracket for Dignitas on Wasteland. Jorius slows this down, but kind of made things a little difficult for Scrub Killer. Dropped one down for Metanoris. And now Jorius will play this around. He's got options to the right, but Seiko, make sure he never got the pass off. Apparently Jack's shot sent away by the combination of Seiko and Metza. And Relating Wave saw apparently Jack coming on, and he had to stop that ball right where it was, perfectly done. And he doesn't play into Dignitas' plans. Apparently Jack forced back. We'll see if Endpoint can get on the board early, as they have so often in this series.
What do you do when a team you're playing against is in a brand new environment and just playing the best that they've been playing? It feels like sometimes you just can't have an answer. No, you don't have an answer no matter what you do. Maybe the demos aren't an answer. Scrub looking for a shot. Jory's follow-up, but you saw the bounce just a little too high. Dignitas want this goal. Jack trying to get past Wave. Scrub up early. Does he have the read? He does. Dignitas able to get the first goal.
Dignitas giving Endpoint a dose of their own medicine, shot after shot. We saw it as well in the previous game. Dignitas had plenty of opportunities. They just could not convert. This time they finally break down the Endpoint defense, get a couple rebounds. Scrub Killer's got 2 in the series now for Dig. Doria's trying to add his second, denied by Seiko. We're seeing renewed life here out of Dignitas. A lot more energy in the offensive zone. Jorius gets there to stop Relating Wave from a clean clear. And apparently Jack dumps one right back in, but Seiko, cool, calm, and collected, just makes everything look so easy.
Whoa, what a read from Jack. That ball, it was like a laser as fast as it was moving. Able to stop that before it got too out of control. But speaking of control, look at that pass! There's no way! Metza to Seiko, he pre-jumped that!
Starting to feel like you could put a dime anywhere on the field and Metanoris could hit it with a pass. It's incredible. got Seiko right on the nose. He had to go up and get it, sure. 3:01 to go, we're all tied up. Metsonoris, you talk about longevity in a Rocket League career. The man is timeless. There's a floater, set a little high. Seiko's got the initial save. Metso will clear this, but he doesn't have any boost to follow up. Now Jorius will play one across for apparently Jack, as Dignitas tries to get that goal right back. Jack's out of juice, and Scrub Killer won't have a second touch as that's cleared away by Metza. Here goes Relating Wave. One to the left, one to the right. Calling his own number and almost forced it through.
Ooh. He's trying to ride the wave. He's been so good in terms of breaking down that Dignitas defense. Yeah, he's looking for another one, but Seiko trying to get a piece of it. You see that air dribble almost working out. Wait, does he have the read? You see that big bounce, but it is off target. Now Endpoint, you see him hunting, but Dignitas trying to manage the things, trying to pick up some more boost and get that ball out. Scrub finds it! Beautiful read from Scrub Killer.
How about this out of Jorius? Perfectly read. Scrub Killer sprinting downfield. Look, you can be an elite defense, which Endpoint is. There are just some plays you can't read and react to in time. Dignitas get one there. Back in front. Now Jorius, pinch at the ceiling. Right there is Relating Wave, had it lined up all day. Dignitas lead inside 2 minutes. Trying to extend this series even further. At least get to Neo Tokyo. Jorius got bumped away. Relating Wave still had to get to this ball and barely did. Now Seiko right out at apparently Jack. Doesn't have many options forward, but Jorius gonna come in quickly to the ceiling and a little bouncer is sent away. Actually, it was wide of Relating Wave. Now apparently Jack, easily saved by Metsonoris. Lots of demolitions though. Dignitas getting back to their usual ways and making Endpoint really uncomfortable on their half of the field.
Seiko pushing that way downfield, good testing ball. Gets the boost steal, looking for the bump on Jack, won't be able to find it. Jorius has to turn off this. He sees the pass, wave up, looking for the bump on Jack. Got a piece of Jack, but Jack got a piece of the ball. A minute left. Endpoint still trying to hold on to this in the midfield. You see they're not so quick to give up that possession. Even Seiko diving, now Wave's gonna have to make a defensive stop.
Apparently Jack didn't get the second touch. Jorius left all alone at the back. He's demolished for his efforts. By Seiko, Relating Wave ties the game with a banger under the bar.
Look at the wave! Goes up, off the ceiling, gets the second touch. You should have jumped up way earlier. Beautiful placement right under the crossbar. Wave tying up the game.
Calm down, Lucas. 4 goals, 4 assists. And another game-tying goal for Endpoint, but not for long. Apparently, Jack answers right back.
Dig or not done. Like that from Jorius, gets the mid boost. Beautiful setup for Jack, and it's a wide open net.
I tell you what, a lot of players who had the kind of day that Jorius had yesterday would not be willing to make the passes that he has made. He has been phenomenal. As the table setter here, he's got 4 assists. While Jack leads the way with the 5 goals. Big demo on Jack, but Jorius is right there. That support role working just fine. 18 seconds now. Dignitas again with a late lead. Trying to prolong this to a 6th game. Apparently Jack across to the center. Jorius is there. It looked like he just baited Seiko in. Problem is, that's a powerful clear, and Seiko was there for it. And this will just go to the ground. Relating Wave couldn't get to it on the side wall. Dignitas stays alive. Another 1-goal game, this time going their way, and we march on to Tokyo.
This is really good out from Dignitas. I mean, Scrub able to find it shooting-wise, like we said. Didn't have shots in the last game. Shot 2 for 2 in this one. And then, of course, you know, facilitating on defense. You said it yourself, Jorius, very selfless so far in this game and in this series. Again, getting those 2 assists, just going for that extra pass has worked out. And it's not as if, you know, Endpoint had a bad game. The passing was great from them, and the shooting was spectacular as well. You saw the solo play from Relating Wave. You saw Mets and Seiko connect, but they couldn't get those opportunities as often, and that's just showing you Dignitas is leveling up in the speed.
All right, this highly entertaining series brought to you by our sponsors, Bob's Ramen. Here we go. Game 6, Neo Tokyo. Champions Field waiting, perhaps. We will see. The first 90 seconds of these games, Daz, have been oh so important.
Yeah.
Endpoint, when they get out to a big early lead, they expand on it oh so quickly. Dignitas have a tough time keeping up with that. But when Dignitas weathers that storm and they get the first strikes, even Endpoint struggles playing from behind. They've at least made it interesting at times. But Dignitas have found a way to prolong their life in the upper bracket. Still match point, though, for Endpoint. Scrub Killer, that was well played, but not on target. That's deflected up high, and Seiko's got the easy pass right out to Metsonoris. No boost in the tank. That's a good win out of Dig. That's a big bump as well. Seiko with the save on Jorius. Follow up from Scrub Killer. Just a little high, and a break for Endpoint.
Ah, man, that was a really good chance for Scrub. You might want that chance back again. Good stops on Seiko. You look at Endpoint now, you had said it earlier, on triple match point. And when does that frustration start to set in? They're coming out the gates a little bit slow. You talk about that first 90 seconds. We haven't seen really too much Endpoint offense. They got an early shot on, but that's been it.
We've seen plenty of Dig, though. That shot deflected away. They're second. Now Jorius, just another launch downfield. Dump and chase, but somebody else is doing the chasing. It was apparently Jack this time. He's got to rush back, though. Seiko's shot just barely beats Scrub Killer, and Seiko adds his 5th goal of the series.
Oh, it's just, again, all about placement, that light touch straight down into that right side, and Scrub can stretch for it, but no chance he's getting that save. There's that first goal for Endpoint. Let's see if that's enough for him.
No longer France's best-kept secret. Everybody knows Seiko's name by now. He's trying to haunt Dignitas. Scrub Killer couldn't go up and chase this one down, so now relating wave. He'll sky one up. Jorius is all over this, though. And there's just kind of a congregation of Dignitas right in the center of the field. Now Jorius lobbed one across, and relating wave is right there. But he did not get the boost. Scrub Killer did take that away. Apparently Jack, great pass out to Jorius, but he had Metsonoris chasing him, and that disrupted his flow.
This is still good management of the ball here for Dignitas. They've been able to manage boost while moving upfield. Looking for a chance there. Scrub, no! Meant to read it. Now it's a race. Jorius gets there. Will need a follow-up touch. I don't think Jack has the boost. There's a 50 straight down. The play does end up coming out, but man, that was so close. Endpoint, they could have had a big lead with that transition.
That was a harrowing challenge that the Dignitas defense rose to the occasion of, but only barely. Endpoint trying to pour it on now. Seiko, double, drop it down and cleared away by Jorius.
Good read for Jorius. Now he's struggling to maintain possession. It's still a 1-goal game, but you can see Endpoint, once they got that movement upfield, Dignitas can't really get too much control of the ball. Jorius just barely getting that block out, buying some time for Abjack.
Oh, Scrub Killer. Not quite what he was looking for, but it was good enough to beat one. Problem is, that means Endpoint's got a man downfield. Seiko waiting to see what apparently Jack does. Metsonoris comes in from behind, and now Scrub Killer. Full tank of boost. This is where he's dangerous, and Seiko just puts on the brakes and stones him cold. Now it's apparently Jack, stuffed by relating wave. Quickly downfield, Scrub Killer just with the reflex save, and that cuts out Endpoint's 2nd goal. Imagine if they get a 2-goal lead at this point, it might be curtains for Dignitas in the series.
Yeah, I mean, you've been saying it just in time, all the time. Whenever Endpoint upfield, Dignitas are just in time. It takes that one moment, and almost you see Jorius with a shot chance, but this one's gonna go the other way. Is someone back? I don't think so. Jack can't make the save, and relating wave might have closed it out there.
Yeah, you can see apparently Jack on his horse trying to get back and just could not get there. A team that had made its living being just in time, doing just enough to keep Endpoint within arm's reach. Just slipped up one time, and when you're playing with those margins for error, the slightest slip up could be fatal. This is a good drop down, but Scrub Killer could not get forward enough. Dignitas trying to get creative now in the final minute of their existence in the upper bracket. This is popped high and wide, and at least keeps Dignitas alive here with 40 seconds left. Though Jorius kind of got caught awkwardly on the near post. Scrubkill has got to get this one cleared, but he also has to somewhat stay close. Got to get the read on Seiko. He does. Apparently Jack high out of the corner and cleared away by Relating Wave. Everything Dignitas tries, Endpoint has an answer for as we dip down inside 20 seconds. Apparently Jack went for the flip reset and Metzonoris gave him no time to work with. One more big clear from Metza, with Relating Wave actually hitting Jorius into that challenge, and maybe a break for Dig. Seiko clears away though, and that's gotta do it. With 5 seconds left, needed to score there, they will not. And Endpoint, it doesn't matter where they are, they're still better than Dig today as they go to the grand finals.
Great stuff for Midpoint. Like, the team is in sync. They look better than ever, even with the uncomfortable situation that they're in. Pass plays connecting. Dignitas not able to get upfield or really put on consistent opportunities. Every time it seemed like there was, okay, this is the play for Dig. No. Someone always had the right challenge. Abjack couldn't get comfortable. They wouldn't let him do flip resets. It just felt like they had them read in this particular series here, Stacks. And I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how Endpoint finish out the day. But to say, I feel like Dignitas, they're just getting warmed up. Wasn't necessarily the best series for them overall, but it wasn't a poor one. I mean, they ended up forcing that game 6, and they had some really impressive strides. I just think Endpoint's defense just had their number.
Endpoint's defense has the number of a lot of teams. Metzonoris, it's incredible. No shots there, and he still found a way to make himself an absolute menace in that game. There's more than just stats and hitting the ball, kids, as Endpoint has just displayed. They go to the grand finals. Who will join them? Well, we gotta wait a little while. We'll go down to the lower bracket. Evil Geniuses, Team Queso, gonna take center stage right after this.